Hello fellow creatures and wild things, I am Cheyenne or Earthy Arts, and in this video I'm going to be showing you all of my artwork from this past semester at the Hite Art Institute. This includes my sketchbook, which was a newsprint sketchbook, and it has a whole bunch of still lifes and stuff. And then I also have all of my art projects from both my art classes, my foundations drawing and my foundations design. And this is my freshman year, so it is going to be like a bunch of foundation stuff, but it's still pretty cool. So I figured I'd show you guys. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're first going to start off with my sketchbook. This is my sketchbook for my Art 107 class, which was my foundations drawing class. We basically did a whole bunch of life drawings and still lifes and stuff. I'm going to speed through this. It's just a bunch of really simple drawings. Nothing super special, but I'll just go ahead and let you guys look through it. Okay, so starting off, this was our first finished still life. I kind of like this one. This one is probably my favorite out of all of my still lifes because I spent the most time on it, but it's not super special. And then we have a bunch of simple still lifes that were just a 10-minute still life. These are all from the same direction too. We just kept drawing the same thing over and over again. That one was 30 minutes, 45 minutes. This one looks like it was just a minute. It's super scribbly. Okay, so these ones are really simple, but I do like the grapes on this one. This one's nice. These are only 1-minute sketches. 5 minutes up here, 5 minutes down here from right there. I like the grapes too on this one. This one was a 20-minute sketch. I really like this one. This one turned out really good. The line variation in it is nice, and again, I like the grapes. The grapes look good. Grapes are always fun to draw. This one was an hour. I feel like it's not as good. It's kind of flat feeling, and I struggled with this little bowl or whatever this was for probably half the time, so that's probably why. Some value studies with charcoal. It's whenever we first started getting charcoal. More value studies. And then our first still life with charcoal. I've never really used charcoal like this before because I usually blend everything out instead of just using the flat out stick. And I really like this one. This one's pretty cool. Another one where I used the stick and I accidentally smudged some of it up there. This one was a subtractive still life, where you basically lay down the charcoal first and then erase everything instead of drawing with the charcoal, you draw with the eraser. That one's pretty cool. I didn't like it at first, but now that I'm looking back on it, it's pretty cool. Here's a 5-minute exercise, another 5-minute. Don't know what this one is. This is whenever I started not writing down the times because we just kept doing so many. So I'm just gonna keep flipping through these. Very simple sketches. Lots and lots of sketches. We always just kept drawing the same things over and over again, which got really boring. And this is where you could tell that I started having fun. My teacher whipped up, brought out the bust, and that was so exciting that I actually got to draw some form of anatomy instead of random cubes and stuff. So you can tell that I tried really hard on this one. I ended up using one of those little blending stumps instead of drawing with charcoal, which I've never really done before. This was a still life where my teacher put a projector on the still life where there were really harsh shadows. Pretty cool looking, I guess. Another bust. This one I really like. This one's pretty good. Background's very interesting. It has some sort of transparent look about it, so very cool. And then we started doing perspective. I gave up on this one. We had to go to a building on campus and just draw what we saw. This was what I ended up doing. That was 2 or 3 class periods, just 2.5 hours each block, so that took a while. And then my favorite thing in the sketchbook is this skeleton. I really like the hatching and cross-hatching on it. It's very nice. Okay, now onto all of my design class stuff. We did a lot in this class. I have a giant pile of stuff. We had, I think, 7 assignments, and each assignment had like 2 or 3 parts to it, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff to get through. We are going to start with the concept sketches in this sketchbook right here, so I'm going to set everything down. Okay, so for the first assignment that we did in this class, you had to do line and shape. Basically, these are my concepts for shape and line, and then we had to make a piece with line and shape. Kind of gave up. As you can tell, I was not feeling this assignment. I wasn't really taking this class seriously at the beginning of the year because it was really easy, and I was just like, I just need to get through this class because it's a foundations class. So for these abstract pieces, I'm not good at abstract, so they're based off of things. This is a mountain with a sun and a moon, some trees, and a stream. And then this is a map of my backyard with all of the paths, some rocks, and these are like the woods back here. This is a mountain ram or a goat or something on a mountain or cliff side with some trees. And this bear, I love this bear so much. This bear is my favorite. And this is supposed to be like raindrops and trees or something. I don't know. I gave up. So for the final pieces, this is the first one. This is the abstract piece for line. I ended up going with the mountain and the sun and moon and trees and stream. I like this, but it's way too simple for me. I really like detailed stuff and like really getting into the artwork. My next one was this really ugly one. I'm sorry, I do not like this. This is, I did not try at all, as you can tell. It's not good. The lines are not like straight or even or anything, and it's just, ugh, don't like it. My favorite, the little bear. He's so fun. This is inspired off of Pine Bone Style over on Instagram. I really like their stuff. They have really expressive animals and stuff. I ended up adding a moon, some stars, like the Aurora Borealis in the background, some mountains, trees, just like adding stuff inside of the bear just to mimic both line and shape, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really get the assignment that well, but I got a good grade on it, so that's really all that matters. The next assignment was invented textures and textures. So basically you had to invent your own textures. So I made some like stippled galaxy type thing. Something kind of inspired off of wood bark, not really. This was inspired off of my kneaded eraser, which is really gross. But I really like the way that this one turned out and kind of wish that I did that. But that would have taken forever to do on a larger scale, so I just kind of didn't do that one. And then textures based off of real life. So this one was a picture of a taxidermy pheasant that I found in Texas, and this was based off of fur and tree bark. And then we were also supposed to do a perspective piece, but I did not make concepts of that because I just did not want to. These are some vulture feathers and like a flower or something. I really like the line work in all these sketches, and they were supposed to be sketches, but I like doing detailed stuff, so I ended up inking them, and which I really did not need to. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the finished ones. So first up is the invented texture. I ended up going with like the little galaxy thing. That took like 4 or 5 hours to do. It was with like a 0.202 or whatever micron, and it took so long to do. Look at all the detail on that thing, it's crazy. The next one is the regular textures. I ended up going with the pheasant because I really liked the picture that I had that I used as a reference. It was very fun to do. And I like the texture in this one. This one's very nice. And then the last one was perspective. I ended up doing our really big tree in our backyard. I really like this tree, it's really cool. And I just kind of distorted the image on like Ibis Paint or whatever, like stretched it. It was either Ibis Paint or like PixArt or something. I don't know, some free app. To where it looked like it had like a really interesting perspective when I got like the whole tree on the paper in like a square. I really like this piece, really cool. And then for the next assignment, we didn't really have to do concept sketches for, but we ended up doing a self-portrait, and just to practice like tones and grayscale. I really like this piece. It's really cool. I never really work with just marker. I usually put colored pencil over top of marker, so that marker is usually not the thing that mainly catches your eye. So this was definitely really different for me. I really like this piece. I ended up going more detailed than I was supposed to for the assignment, but it's really cool looking. I like it. And then the next thing that we did was we were supposed to fill out a color wheel because we started getting into color and paint. So we filled out a color wheel, and then we were supposed to make our own quilts from them. So this was my first one. It was a simple 3x3. I hated doing this one. This one was so annoying to do because I chose to work with gouache, and I know that I hate gouache, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it because it will help me get better. And it didn't. I hate gouache, and I still do. Never again. Never again. And then the next one was this one, which is a way more detailed quilt, and I ended up having to cut out the paper and glue it to another one. It's okay. I like the colors though. The colors are nice. And then the next assignment in this class, we ended up working more with color. We had to do another color wheel type thing and mixing complements with each other and gray with each other to kind of dull stuff out, I guess. And I ended up doing a bird for the final piece. I really like this piece. Definitely my favorite I've done in this class overall. Yeah, I like this piece a lot. It's a nice piece. And then we ended up doing some more color stuff. This time we tried to do something where the same color looks different on two different colors, and then two different colors look the same on two different colors. That's darker, that's lighter, but they look the same. Not really. I'm not good at doing that type of stuff. So this wasn't supposed to be like perfect because obviously you can tell that I did not try. They're just supposed to be practices. And then we did a piece where we had to make one color look like two different colors based off of like black and white or like really dark colors. This one's pretty cool. I like taping stuff off and doing stuff like that. It's really fun, relaxing until you mess stuff up. And then the last one was this one where we had to make it look like the colors were moving. I thought that this one was really fun to do because I like doing gradients. They're really fun, but the craftsmanship on this is just terrible. Like, you can see where the tape just made all the paint bleed, and not much else to say about it. And then for our last assignment, it was our final, so I'm going to flip through my sketchbook real quick. We were supposed to make an artwork based off of an artist of our choosing, and I decided to do Rain Portlevet. He is a Dutch painter, and he did a whole bunch of gnomes and stuff, so I ended up making my own piece with a gnome in it. So I sketched out a whole bunch of different gnomes based off of random pictures on Pinterest of actual people and just like exaggerating their facial like features, I guess. And I ended up going with this guy because I just really like the way his ears look and his nose and everything, but if I were to do another one, I'd probably do her. She's really cute. And here's some thumbnails for that. And then some color studies of the character, trying to do different body proportions and stuff, just getting the whole idea of what his vibe is. And then there's his actual design that I ended up going with his little roly-poly friend. Here's the finished piece. I did end up recording this whole piece as well. It's on my channel if you guys are interested in watching. And I'm not super happy with this piece. It's not my best one, but it is, like, the vibes are there and everything. It does have, like, an atmosphere and a mood, which I really do like because I enjoy doing different lighting and stuff like that, like mood lighting. So I do like how the fireflies, you can tell that the light's bouncing off of surfaces. It's very nice. We ended up having to matte this too, because we didn't matte our other ones. They were just on other paper. Now for this class, our artworks were a minimum of 18 by 24, so I am gonna have to zoom out for this because these artworks are really big. But we're gonna start off with our first homework assignment, which was, we basically had to make an artwork inspired off of a description of another artwork from a museum. So I went to the museum at our school and chose a random piece that didn't have a description because I'm a cheater and I like that freedom. So it didn't have a description, so I basically had free reign. my artwork was like a wooden sculpture of like apocalyptic scene, so I just kind of went with the title, The Apocalypse. That was literally it. There's no description, nothing, so I had like free reign. So I ended up creating this piece, which ended up, I have concepts of this one. It is basically, so this piece is about this girl. She's picking off her feathers because she doesn't want to turn into the beast, but whenever she does, she feels free, and I do have like a little poem right here. But yeah, I really like this piece. I didn't actually have a reference for this, and that was like my first piece that I've gone off like not having a reference for, so it's definitely really different to do. But I ended up using the like Pose It app on my phone, where you can basically have like a model, I guess, and just like move their arms and stuff to your liking. So I used that and just kind of went off of that. I took some pictures of some feathers that I had and then just kind of drew them on top of my Pose It model and added hair and stuff. I'm not super happy with like the hair up here, but the hair texture is nice. Okay, so these next ones are a series of 3 artworks. These artworks were we were basically supposed to have a folder of, it was either like 50 or 100 images. I think it was 50 images that we found on the internet, and we were supposed to make artwork from 3 of those. So it's basically like a research project trying to find a bunch of random stuff and eventually dwindling it down to like 3 images. So I ended up going with cicadas for my theme. So for my first artwork, it is representative of life. This is a basic cicada, just flat, laid out. I really like this piece. It was the first one that I ended up doing out of all 3 of them. I added a whole bunch of texture. I've never really done this style before, and this is like the first time that I did it, so it was really interesting to do. I ended up going with like a marker base and then going over it with like hatches and cross-hatching with colored pencil. I really like it. This is the first one, representative of life. And for the second one is death. This one is with a spider, I think it's like an orb weaver or something, with a cicada that is wrapping up in its silk. Very nice. I ended up having to redo this one because I messed it up the first time. I went too detailed, and I figured out that I wasn't going to have enough time to do a full artwork for all 3 of them, so I ended up having to restart. And this artwork was inspired off the idea of rebirth and like regeneration. It has a cicada coming out of its shell off of a branch. I really like this one. I think this one's my favorite out of all 3 of them. I do like how the first one's texture is a whole lot more like sharp and nice, but I do like this one a lot. And then for the next assignment, we were supposed to do like automatic drawings, which are basically where you aren't the thing that's drawing. So for this assignment, me and my friend ended up going outside and adding like pins and stuff to like tree branches, like Tim Knowles, whatever his name is, I forgot. But we ended up doing that, and we created 5 pieces. She has one of the other ones, but I ended up with 4 of them. This one is the first one. We ended up using like little pipsqueak markers because I tried using my Prismacolor markers and I realized I am gonna run out of my nice markers fast. Like this uses a lot of ink or juice out of your markers, so we ended up going with all the cheap markers that were at my house. So we went with like pipsqueaks and like Crayola markers and stuff. I really like this green one. All the greens are nice. They're spread out really nice on paper. I don't really know how to explain my feelings on abstract art because they're literally just scribbles, so this is going to be difficult for me. This next one, I don't really like this one a whole lot. The colors are nice. It has like yellow and orange and stuff, but I feel like it's not spread enough around the paper, but it's still cool looking. And then this one is the one that I used my Prismacolor markers on. This one is cool because it has like these little bleed marks because it is an alcohol marker instead of a water-based marker. But this one's really interesting, but yeah, I ended up realizing that I'm gonna run out of my stuff really quickly, so I'm gonna have to use something else. And then I really like this one too. This one's really nice. It has different variations of like purple, pink, and red, and it's spread over the paper really nicely. A lot of these we ended up either putting under like honeysuckle bushes or like some other type of bush, but this one's really nice. I like this one a lot. And I like this kind of like circular motion right here that the purple, red, and like some more purple over here is doing. It's very cool looking. And then the last assignment was our final. This one I had a lot of fun with, but I was also really stressed because I didn't realize how close the deadline was, and I was like 2 days until the deadline. I was like, oh, I haven't started. I should probably do this. So it is basically a sculpture, I guess, which is kind of weird because it's a drawing class and you'd assume that you have to do a drawing. But we were supposed to make an exploded view drawing of a sculpture or a concept that we wanted. It's about our ode to pitfalls, what we kind of struggled with in the class. I struggle with doing 3D stuff and just going out of my comfort zone, so that's what I decided to do. So I created a sculpture with different natural materials, got bones, more bones, sticks, different like leaves, feathers, a bunch of random stuff. I do have my process and my finals video if you guys are interested in watching that. But yeah. Okay, so that is all of the assignments in terms of my art classes, but I do have one more thing I want to show you guys before you get to see me again at the end of the video. I ended up getting an assignment for my anthropology class to draw just like a type of ape or monkey, and where is it? I ended up drawing an orangutan, and I love it. He's so fun. I love all the colors on this page. It's in the sketchbook, which I plan to do a sketchbook tour of eventually. Don't know when that's going to be. It takes me forever to finish sketchbooks, and I'm only like this much through it, so yeah, got a long way to go. But I really like the mark making I did with the Microns, very nice. And this, what are they called? Mangoes? I really don't know what I'm talking about, but this is a cool spread. I do have to admit that. And this ended up bleeding through the paper, so I did have to improvise on the next page and add like paper over top of it. But that's like a sneak peek of what's going to be the sketchbook tour. It was really fun to do this. I feel like I went overboard because we were only supposed to do like a sketch of our chosen ape, great ape or whatever. And I did an entire sketchbook spread because I wanted to start filling up my sketchbook. So yeah. Okay, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you guys want to see more from me, feel free to subscribe. Or if you want to go check out my Instagram or Facebook, I have those linked down below as well. And if I have any more social medias, I put those down there too. And I'll see you guys down in the comments. And have a nice day, evening, night, morning, wherever you are. Have a nice one. Bye, guys.